Hello, fight fans. Welcome to In This Corner TV from the beautiful Mirage Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, site of the 52nd Annual WBC Convention. A plethora of pugilistic greats in attendance for opening day. Great champions from yesteryear, like Evander, Real Deal Holyfield. Stars of today, like Triple G, Gennady, Golovkin. The mood very, very upbeat, but everybody missing the late Jose Sulaiman, especially the new president, his son, Mauricio Sulaiman. Mauricio, good to see you again.
How are you, my friend?
Great to be here at the 52nd Annual WBC Convention. 52 years, and do you feel the spirit of Papa looking down and watching this?
Absolutely. I think the opening ceremony was great, and I felt he was there, absolutely. And I feel very honored to have been in that room when the WBC says goodbye to my father. The annual convention was always his biggest moment of the year. He was able to meet the commissioners, all the people who work every single day from around the world to accomplish what the WBC has been set as a standard, and it was just simple and just very emotional.
He was like ubiquitous for me because it seemed like every corner I would go around walking at, there he would be with, there would be Jose with somebody, so he certainly is missed, but his spirit is still felt, and you guys are doing a great job. Tell the fans, the boxing fans, what this convention means to the sport.
Basically, it is a time where people from all over the place, from all over the world, who have their specific work on different areas, ring officials committee, medical committee, finance committee, public relations committee. There's so many different ones. And what we all do, we continue the work, and then during the convention it's time to recap, to set the new goals, to evaluate what has been done, and to continue working on that. The top priority will always be medical, and especially medical studies, to look at the rules and see what can be changed to make it safer.
And it's so important because, boxing's a little different than the National Football League, the NHL, the NBA, Major League Baseball. It so needs settings like this. It's great to see all the great champions here, Holyfield and Tyson and Ray Leonard and the new kids, Gennady and Floyd and all. But at the end of the day, you want to get a lot accomplished because we're in a sport where certainly the most dangerous of all sports. So safety is important, officiating is important, scoring is important. Talk about how those things will be addressed this week here at the WBC Convention.
Well, we're starting a new program which will detect and which will monitor mismatches. It is a program with BoxRec that we have put together. We worked for a long time to set parameters of where a fighter stands as a level. Like in karate. Karate, you have a black belt. You cannot compete against a yellow belt. That would be terrible. In boxing, there's no levels. And this will take some time, but I think it's a very good step forward to monitor the competition, to monitor how fighters of a certain level should not be fighting against others.
So to create guidelines so we won't have mismatches.
That is, it's not the guidelines, but a system, a solid system.
Good.
We are going to introduce with VADA an anti-doping program, which will be a yearly testing through random selection for a different process as it is today, that we only test after the fight. Now we're going to do by random. We're going to test for PEDs, and we're going to look into this situation because it's a major problem in sports and also in boxing.
And in terms of, we just had a couple of fights here in Vegas, and we're always in an uproar. We're always trying, we need to try to improve. A couple of things that concern me is scoring and helping these judges. My thing is that so many of these judges have never laced up a glove. and I don't say that you have to be an ex-fighter, but when you don't understand the skill and the ring guile and the craft that's going on, we saw it in a fight with Herrera. How do we improve the scoring?
Well, it's a delicate situation. You have to look first at the appointments of officials. What we have in our rules is that the officials have to be from neutral countries. When you are from the same nationality of the boxer, it's a natural, how do you say, without knowing it?
Intuitive almost.
Intuitive,
yeah.
That there could be some lenient to one of the fighters. Second, we're going to just start ranking the officials. We have done a process. We have come up with a first list. There's going to be ranking, and every single performance is going to be evaluated, and it will receive a grade.
Yeah.
So it's a process. We've been working on it, and we cannot be accountable for fights that are not WBC fights. We do not criticize officials. We believe in the integrity and honorability, but officials have to be chosen for the specific fight. You cannot just do a random appointment. You have to be looking into who is going to officiate that specific fight, so the fighter is going to the ring with the best chance of having.
Yeah, without a predisposition.
Exactly.
I think that's. And let me say that the WBC has gotten behind us with Boxing Fight Night. It's a free app that we have that's available, and where fans from all over the country and all over the world can score the fights. You guys are the sponsor of that, so you want that transparency.
Yeah, we want the transparency. We instituted a rule which is not used in the United States, which is the open scoring, partial open scoring after 4 rounds and after 8 rounds. I think you don't like that one, but it's a way. Okay, that way the fighter after 4 rounds, he's aware of what is going on.
Well, like in football, you know the damn score.
You know
so
the
I
score,
got you.
Or even in diving, you know, you need a higher.
Yeah, but I would have been hopelessly behind after 4 rounds, and all of my fights I'd have been demoralized, you know. So that's why let me tell you the one. You know the one I don't like, because when I fought back in the day, we weighed in the day of the fights, and I know all the medical. I've gone over it with Margaret Goodman for over a decade now, but it's backfired because these guys are rehydrating 20 and 30 pounds, and then you're fighting a guy 4 divisions higher. Or is that going to be something that'll be spoken about this week, you think?
Of course, to ratify it. The weigh-in, the weight situation is the most crucial, important for safety. Fighters used to fight with weighing in the day of the fight, having no intermediate division, so they would have to be in a much, either sacrificing to stay and remain in the lesser division, or giving advantage moving into the higher division. The situation is fighters for decades were so dehydrated the day of the fight, they comply with the weight, they even had to lose a lot of weight on the same day and then get in the ring with tremendous cramps, with tremendous dehydration. Your body produces 1 pint of encephalic fluid every 24 hours. When you're dehydrated, this fluid is not there. So if you don't allow those 24 hours to get the fluid back to the brain, it's dangerous. So there's always a strong medical facts that support this rule. I understand, but all these cases about 20, 30 pounds, they're not as often as we think. There are specific cases like Julio Cesar Chavez, like Gatti against Gamache, but if it's not a general. Of course, fighters are not fighting in the specific division. They all gain weight. If you weigh in the same day of the fight at 10 in the morning, what makes you think they're not going to gain weight by fight time? So
I didn't because I was scared. I wouldn't eat. But what about having them, you know, which has been talked about, you know, you weigh in the next day and you just can only gain a certain percentage of weight overnight, so it would be a more even playing field, and these guys wouldn't be tempted to take advantage of it.
What we're doing, we are educating the fighters. We are explaining the advantage of, or disadvantage of gaining too much weight, because if you gain more weight, it's not an advantage. It backfires. So if you're responsible and you watch what you eat after the weigh-in and what you drink, because all that fluid that they put in, it's just making a bulk. It's not really something that would give them an advantage. All to the contrary, they're heavier. And there's no relationship that the heavier fight wins the fight. All to the contrary. So we're educating them what they should eat. Just go carbohydrates and what they should not eat, what is what consequences you have when you gain or when you lose too much weight.
What can we expect for 2015 from the WBC, and what are you looking forward to?
Well, we are doing everything possible to see Mayweather-Pacquiao. We have, when Pacquiao was knocked out, he came back, and the WBC rated him #1 to be the mandatory contender, and then he decided to go other way. So it's not Mayweather's fault. He's just fighting. He's not going to wait for the challenger. And Pacquiao is a great fighter, and they both want to fight. The WBC will not put any obstacles for the fight to happen. So we have left the welterweight and the super welterweight open, so there's no mandatory, no commitment that will froze Mayweather and would become an obstacle for the fight to happen. So we're doing that. Now it's a matter of them and the people behind whoever decides just to step up and give the fans the fight they want to see.
WBC means a lot because they help the program. And when there's an opportunity, don't no one go anywhere without an opportunity. And WBC is one of the federations that stands behind their fighters. And they kind of wish that all other federations would do the same, because it's more money but more opportunities. But I guess if everybody take that lead with WBC, I'm telling you, the boxing would be a whole lot better game.
Yeah, it's certainly unlike other sports. You know, I mentioned the NBA and the NFL, Major League Baseball, where the athletes are protected, not just when they're in the sport, but when they're after the sport. And that's something that in boxing, the fighters, aren't protected. Everybody wants to be with them when they're champ, or even but nobody wants to help them when their career is over. That's a big problem.
Well, it is. And I think the WBC do a good job bringing other people in, other than athletes, because you have to be able to bring people who think a little different. You have to choose your friends by the things that you don't do well. And I think WBC doing that, and they bringing so many people in, and now they're getting the athletes to go out and help the kids and things like that, and things like that kind of bring people into it, and people start pitching ideas of things that they can do to help the fighters.
In this corner welcomes one of the most popular fighters in the world, one of the best fighters in the world, Triple G, we'll call him Quadruple G, Gennady Golovkin.
Yeah, good to see you, sir.
Let's talk about, first off, this WBC convention that we're at. How do you feel like mingling with all these current and even former champions?
Yes, absolutely. I feel it's great. Just big day for WBC family. A great convention. I see a lot of great champions. This is an amazing day for me and for everybody.
What I like about the old time, and if Ray Leonard's watching and Hagler, don't get mad at me because your guys are my age, but they want to meet you, guys like, Hagler and Hearns and Sugar Ray Leonard. Who do you want to, or who have you met that you've enjoyed meeting?
Oh, I respect a lot of great champions, for me, I love boxing, I love different style. I respect a lot of champions.
How would you describe your style? I call you a boxer puncher, but the quintessential, I don't know if you can say that word, seek and destroy fighter. You seek, you destroy, but you do it with poise and composure. How do you describe?
This is my style, this is my Mexican style. Thank you very much for my coach, Abel Sanchez. Yeah. He helped me. He opened my eyes for profi style.
Who are some of the guys when you were coming up, and you had a great amateur career, but who are some of the guys that you watched that really turned you on to boxing?
Wow, a long time ago, I like profi style. A long time ago, I watched Sugar Ray Robinson, of course, Marvin Hagler, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, everybody, just different style, different size, different weight. Very interesting for me.
Well, I know this one is with mixed emotions for you. We know Jose's looking down and he's got to be happy with everything, and we look forward to the rest of the week and the 52nd convention going in splendid fashion. Best of luck.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.